Spider Noir is coming to Amazon Prime in May of 2026, and that got me thinking about running a Spider-Man Noir style game using the Marvel Multiverse RPG, which I keep buying books for, but never seem to get around to running. And yes, I did buy another book. It's the Spider-Verse book, and this time I might actually use it. So let's take a look at it. My co-host David and I played Escape from Planet Hulk, an intro adventure for the Marvel Multiverse RPG at Gen Con back in 2023, and we really enjoyed it. The game played fast. I got to bamf around like crazy playing Nightcrawler, and as an X-Men fan, that made me very happy. I've picked up a couple of other source books over the years. I got the X-Men source book that you just saw because I'm a huge X-Men fan, and if nothing else, it seemed like a helpful reference. And I also snagged the Cataclysm of Kang campaign when I found it at Ollie's for less than $10. So, let's get into the Spider-Verse book. So, while I am a big Marvel guy, and I am in particular a big X-Men guy, I do really enjoy the Spider-Verse, especially since the Into the Spider-Verse movie came out. And I went back and I read all of the Spider-Verse comic books because I have Marvel Unlimited. And so I'm pretty well versed at Spider-Man at this point. I can't say I know every last character, but it is a subset of the Marvel universe that I've really enjoyed because, I kind of lean into the whole great power, great responsibility thing. So, this is the Spider-Verse expansion for the Marvel role-playing game RPG. And let's see, we're getting into it. Let's see. You got the Into the Spider-Verse. It gives you a high-level introduction, talks about the different, basically the whole of the Spider-Verse and what we're going on and kind of covering the most recent story arcs from the last couple of years. Then it gets into a little bit more detail. All right, so to start off, it goes into depth on Peter Parker, the original Spider-Man, getting into his origins, the Spider-Verse and beyond, supporting cast, significant others, what have you. I will say, I have a tendency when running superhero games to not want to be the main characters. Like, I never actually want to play Spider-Man, or I never actually want to play Miles Morales. But having the background is helpful if you're the kind of person who does actually want to run one of those characters. I would always rather come up with I don't know, the 13th clone of Peter Parker or something else that I could put my own hooks on. So that's Peter Parker. Then we have Spider-Man Miles Morales from the Ultimate Universe, gets into his background and his friends and supporting cast and family and friends. And so I think the other thing that's cool about them getting into this level of detail, talking about Miles and his background, is it can give you inspiration for your characters of what does your character's foes look like? What does your supporting cast look like? Who's your best friend? Who's the girlfriend? Who's the boyfriend? What have you, right? What are locations are important to you? So like Miles's house, Brooklyn Visions Academy, Brooklyn itself. And so anyway, it's just cool to kind of take some time and think about that part of your character's background because it's really just easy to throw yourself into the fight. But I like the idea that they're spending time talking about Spider-Man as a family, not just Spider-Man as a superhero. And meanwhile, let's see, we got Brooklyn Vision Academy. So, that's cool if you need a nice little high school to throw at things. Let's see. Love interests, friend in the chair. Ah, yes, gotta have the friend in the chair. Then we have one of my favorites, Spider-Gwen, aka Ghost Spider. I've been trying to figure out when she started getting called Ghost Spider. I've just started reading one of the series again. I think it's the original Spider-Gwen series. I'm imagining, in universe, they can't call her Spider-Gwen because I kind of give it away. So I can imagine why they did it. I just don't remember when it actually started because she was originally Spider-Woman. So anyway, that's another reason why I got this book is it's a cool resource for just learning more about the Spider-Verse. I have read so many comic books, folks, but I still don't know all of the stuff. So I love Spider-Gwen and here more stuff, right? Like friends, foes, another map. So we got Empire State University. Cool. Another iconic thing from the Spider-Verse. Then we got, let's see, Spider-Man 2099. I gotta say, I was never a big fan of Spider 2099 until really kind of went back into it with Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, I read it when the books were originally published, but it just felt kind of gimmicky. But now I'm kind of enjoying the more cyberpunk edge to it. So let's see. Then we got, let's see, that was him. Ooh, Alchemix Research and Development Building. That's a helpful map. And let's see, we got other spider characters. So here they go into Arana. Am I saying that right? Arana? So this is cool. This is where I have the most trouble with the Spider Verse is when you start getting into all of the secondary characters, like Madam Web. I understand, terrible movie. We'll leave that aside. Silk, Spider Boy, Spider Woman, Jessica Drew, Spider Man from 1610. Let's see. Yeah, so just like all of the cool like variant Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Spider-Ham. So if you're a fan of Into the Spider-Verse, I think you're going to find almost everything that you would want here. And oh, hey, look at that. Spider-Man Noir. Now, I don't know why they call it Spider Noir. It seems stupid not to call it Spider-Man Noir, but maybe they were just trying to condense it for the series. I don't know, but we have some background here on Spider Noir and then Spider Punk who is I love the British punk rock Spider-Man. It's been it's a cool read. I'm also going back and reading that. But the problem with liking Spider-Man is there's just so much content to read that once you load up Marvel Unlimited, you just get freaking lost. Again, a good reason to pick up the book. So then we get into clones because of course the clone saga, you got to get into the clones. That became a major thing with Spider-Man. Symbiotes. I have no idea what I would want to do for a Spider-Man Noir campaign. I think mostly I'm leaning into the punching Nazis thing. So kind of street level sort of adventuring. Uh in New York City, 1930s, something like that. I don't know. But I don't think I'd want to get into the symbiotes, but you know, I know people love Venom, and I know people love the spinoff, so cool. So that covers kind of your core content in terms of what you have for Spider People, Spider Verse. They introduced some new rules around, let's see, secret identities, supporting casts, dealing with romance, dealing with friends, super friends, woohoo! Uh, generating a supporting cast, so they got a table for that, which is pretty cool. Personal responsibility check. Oh, I like it. The Spider folk just, they have to have their personal responsibilities and they have to have their life tragedies, right? So uh it's cool to see that the rules are trying to accommodate that. Got additional rules for villains and hostages, bad karma and reputation, more threats, symbiotes, multiversal variants, spider wops, venom, new webbing rules. You can just totally get lost in all of the variant webbing stuff that you could do. New stunts, gadgets, because if you're Spider-Man, you gotta have your gadgets. The spider cycle, goblin glider, right? Cool. New conditions, new powers. Because, luck, sixth sense, you gotta have that spider sense tingling. Cool. So the powers get broken down. Narrative powers. In addition to regular powers, there's an entirely new kind of power, narrative powers. These powers don't fit within the regular framework for powers. They break the original standard rules, or they break the standard rules, and because of that, they don't have rules in the same sense that standard powers do. Huh. That's kind of cool. I think I like that. I think David's going to like that too. Magic masks, sewer lair. Cool. And then, per the other books in this series, they have a ton of characters. So, if you want to just pull something from the Spider Verse, you don't want to play maybe a main character like Peter Parker or Miles, but you're interested in playing a secondary character. This is an option for you. Also, all the villains already statted out. I have no problem with using the villains. I mean, I do still like to make my own villains, but the idea of being able to just come in here and have stat blocks for just about every spider villain and spider friend that you might ever want to go up against is pretty cool, complete with biographies and stats and history, personality, all that good stuff. So, I mean, I don't know, at least a third of the book is stats, which, your mileage may vary if you were looking for more background. But I think, again, if you're looking for something ready to run, this is going to be super helpful for running a campaign. And I mean, at least when we play tested it out at Gen Con, it ran pretty well. So I can't say that I can fault people with just using the standard stat blocks. And then let's see, the last thing we have is a glossary index, which I'm appreciative. It looks a little thin given the amount of content we have in the book, but okay, we'll see how it goes. With no index survives test. No index survives contact with campaign prep or actually running the game, but we'll see how it actually works out. So there you go. That is the Spider-Verse book for the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. Again, if nothing else, it's a great reference book, or it looks like it's going to be a great reference book. I mean, I actually do still need to read this thing. I just got out of the box. But it looks cool, and I mean, it's got me inspired to want to do some actual Marvel role-playing gaming. So we'll see. We got a lot of stuff scheduled for the spring, but maybe I will actually get a one-shot up off the ground in time for Spider Noir's release. So, what's your favorite superhero game? Marvel? So, what's your favorite superhero game? How do you like to run your games? Do you want to be the main heroes that are already in the published books, or do you come up with your own quirky little characters? Do you like Savage Worlds? Do you like DC Heroes? There's a lot of superhero games out there. We would love your feedback. You can leave it as a comment on YouTube, or you can email us at podcast@lairsecrets.com.